Oh, hello, and welcome to another episode of Kyle's Corner. Today, I'm going to help you beginner knitters out there determine what needle's good for you, or just give you some information on the different kinds of needles there are out there, the materials, how they work, and hopefully help you decide on your first pair of knitting needles. So today we're going to start with the Addi Needles. These are the same needles that I talked about in my previous episodes with the interchangeable needle sets. What I talk about with these might also help you determine what set you want as far as the characteristics of the different materials. So we're going to start with just the regular Addi Turbo needle. There it is. These are nickel-plated aluminum needles. It's one of my favorite kind of needles. Addi Turbo basically stands behind its name. You will be knitting in turbo mode with these needles. The plating on the metal is extremely smooth. If you're a tight knitter, these are the needles I would recommend. Your yarn seems to slide extremely easy on these needles. The joins are phenomenal. There's no snagging. And if you have tough times sliding the yarn across the needles and you have not tried these, I really recommend you try these, especially if you're a tight knitter. They'll work great. It's a phenomenal needle. Next is the Addi Naturas. Same brand, basically the exact same needle, same length of the needle, same length of the tip. Also with the Naturas and with the Turbos, they're going to have a little bit more blunt tip on them. So if you have a difficult time trying to pick up the stitches as you're knitting, these might not be the needles for you, and I'll explain that in a minute. But these tips aren't as long and they're more blunt. With the Naturas, they also have a coating on them. They're extremely smooth. They don't slide as quick as the Turbos do, but they do slide pretty nice. But for those of you that don't like the feel of metal or don't like the way that the metal slides, this would be a great needle to turn to. And last of the Addi family, we have the Addi Turbo lace needles. Now, like the Natura and the bamboo, the length of the needle itself are all the exact same. The only difference with the lace is this tip from here to here is a little bit longer and it comes to a much more fine point. So if you can see the difference there, there's the Turbo and there's the lace. These come to a much more fine point. Everything I do when I'm knitting, whether it's a sweater, beanie, hat, scarf, doesn't matter. I always use the Addi Turbo lace. That's just a personal preference. I just like the fineness of the tip. It helps me grab that yarn much easier. So next we're going to go on to some double point and single point needles that we have over here. And they're the ones that I typically use all the time. They're my favorite. It's Brittany Birchwood needles. They do not have circular needles, just single point and double point, but they're very similar to the Addi Turbo Naturas. If you like the Addi Turbo Naturas, but you have a project that calls for single point or double point, I highly recommend these needles. They're a great needle. They're very well made. Like I said, they only come in single point, double point, and they also have some cable needles if you want to do cabling. But I use these on every project. The tip on these is a little bit sharper than the Addi Naturas, but not by much. But this is the Birchwood needles by Brittany, and they do have a coating on the wood. It is not an unfinished wood. They are coated with a clear coat, so you won't get any of the snagging or splintering of the wood. And if you do like these, they are also available in Crochet Hooks. So for all you crocheters out there, I didn't forget about you. They make this pretty fancy top here, and then they have the hook on the bottom. These are lacquered, they won't splinter. It's a great, I personally don't crochet, but I've heard a lot of crocheters talk magic things about these Brittany needles. So if you haven't tried them, give them a shot. And over here we have our Bryspun Knitting Needles. A lot of beginners choose these. The price is extremely attractive on these needles. They are plastic though, so not that that's a bad thing. A lot of people prefer plastic. The only thing you're going to want to pay attention to is if you get into the smaller sizes, this is a size 5, they will become flexible. You can see in there they're flexible, but a lot of people like the flex while they're knitting. So the tips on these, they have a pretty good point on them. The joins are pretty good. If you don't know whether you want to knit or not, this would probably be a good needle to try out, see if you like knitting before you do buy a more expensive pair of knitting needles. It's a great beginner set. They are available in single point, double point, and circular. So the single point and double points are up here: 10-inch, 14-inch, 10-inch double point, 7-inch double point, and 5-inch double points. And the second to last pair of needles I'm going to show you are right next here. These are probably one of the most popular bamboo needles we sell. These are the KA. A lot of people call them Ka, but they're KA Classic Bamboo Knitting Needles. The joins on these, they have a brass fitting, similar to the Addi Naturas. They've got a good tip on the needles. They're basically almost identical to the Naturas. I haven't found a difference when I'm knitting with these or the Naturas. Both of them are phenomenal bamboo needles. The bamboo's strong, they're not going to snap on you. Like the Naturas, these aren't going to slide. Your yarn's not going to slide as fast on these as they would a metal needle. And same goes for the Bryspun plastic needles. If you are a tight knitter and you're going to want something that slides easily and you can push it along easy because your hands hurt, you're definitely going to want to go with those Addi Turbos or those Addi lace needles. If you're a loose knitter or your hands don't hurt or the tightness doesn't bother you and you don't like the slipperiness of the metal needles, definitely go with something like this, the KA needles, the bamboo needles, plastic needles. Those will definitely slow down that yarn so they're not sliding all over the place. So this is the other bamboo needles that we sell. Last set of needles, we're going to go to an extremely well-made pair of Exotic Woods by Lantern Moon. This is Lantern Moon's circular needle. They're more of the high-end needle. They're made out of 3 different kinds of wood. There's ebony wood, rosewood, and there's some blonde wood. They're getting rid of the blondes right now, but they have ebony and rosewood. I can show you the difference in wood here. You can see the ebony is extremely dark. The rosewood is more of a maroonish color. They are a great needle. These needles, when I knit with them, they seem to have a little bit faster slide than the bamboo needles do, so your yarn will slide a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, easier than you would if you had the plastic or the bamboo knitting needles. It's a great pair of needles. They come in circular, single point, and double point. And that's basically all the different types of needles, the materials, just to kind of touch up on everything we just talked about. If you're a tight knitter, you want something that's going to slide easily on your needles, check out the Addi Turbos, the Addi Turbo lace needles. Anything that's made out of metal with the nickel plating or a coating on there, they're going to slide much easier than they would if you were to use a bamboo or a plastic. Once you get into the bamboo or plastic, it's going to be a little bit tougher to slide that yarn on there. Depending on if you're a tight knitter or loose knitter, a lot of it's personal preference. So hopefully I helped you make a decision today. And the last thing I'm going to show you is this awesome Hurdy sheep apron I'm wearing. It's my favorite apron in the world. And come check out the colors over here. We got more colors. I know you like the green, but there's more. There's purple, there's orange, there's pink for you ladies out there. There's gray for those men who don't want to wear green, and baby blue. These aprons are made by Hurdy. They got a pocket here. I've been wearing this one for months, and it's extremely durable. I love it. It's comfy. I want to take it home and cook it with the barbecue, but Travis here at the shop won't let me take it home. I don't know why. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed Kyle's Corner today. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for coming to Paradise Fibers, and don't forget to check us out at www.paradisefibers.com.